Jamaican state of mind. Everything is fine. Yeah. I'm in a jam down state. Yeah. Jamaican state of mind.
Yes, welcome to another episode of Jamaican State of Mind podcast. This is your host Nick, and I'm here with a special guest. I guess a returning guest, I should say.
Yes.
Welcome to the episode, Lori.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm really happy to be back. Happy to chat as usual.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I know you have a bag of things to say.
Yes, especially pertaining to this topic, I definitely have a lot to say.
Yeah, man. So, before getting everything, how was the last year? How was the with COVID and everything and the whole quarantine and all of that? How was the last year for you?
Last year was adapting to it was very hard. I'm still trying to adapt to COVID. It was definitely scary in a sense because you never know what's happening. There's so much misinformation going around. So all of that, and then now it's like we're in this phase where it's like COVID doesn't exist anymore, and you trying to you trying to go back into society. That's very
Yeah.
difficult. So it's definitely has been a challenge, but of course you have to just remain adaptable and just try one day at a time. So that's where I'm at right now with COVID.
Okay, good for you.
How about you? How has COVID treated you, man?
It's
Atlanta
been
has been open.
yeah down here, Listen, it's for me and my family. Last year was rough, especially on my wife's side of family, because she did lose family member.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, but several, not just one. So it was rough in
Sucks.
that sense, and just the whole adapt, couldn't go to the funeral, all of them thing there.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of weird, but and that we give thanks, we're still here.
Right.
We healthy, immediate family, parents, and mother and father, everybody we healthy, kids healthy. So we can't complain. There's a lot of adapting, yeah, going last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just give thanks that we're still here, so we can't complain,
Right.
Yeah, man. So on this episode here, we're gonna just jump right tonight. We're not gonna pretty it up. We're not gonna a lot of things happening within the media, and I know you have a lot of opinion on it. I have a lot of opinion on it as well.
Right.
When it comes to a deeper issue with African American and
Mm-hmm.
us Caribbean people, Jamaican,
Right.
what's been going on, especially over this track and field event. So, since you're the guest,
Mm-hmm. You want me to jump into
I
it?
make you jump in it and start it. And,
Yes.
because I think some people kind of know what we are talking about, but I'm going to just make you, start what we are talking about and your opinion on the matter.
Got it. So, we're basically discussing what's going on, how this whole Shakari Richardson thing just has really stemmed and highlighted a lot of issues surrounding African Americans and overall the rest of the Black diaspora, and just in general how it's like when we need to be embracing each other, it's like we instead come apart. And I wouldn't necessarily put this on just, the others in the Black diaspora. What you see reoccurringly happening is like, instead of Black Americans really just, embracing the diaspora and just, the culture, Black culture, what you find happening is it's like they become like these white racist people. It's like they use jabs like you guys are monkeys and stuff like that. And That's what was occurring over social media. You find that, there's this new superstar, there's this new track star. She's great at what she does, as especially as a young woman, and because Shelly Ann is there and they're known for Jamaica, it's a bit of competition. So typical social media, they boost everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, America's gonna be Jamaica, and Jamaica's gonna be this and that, and Jamaicans, typical Jamaicans, they're gonna come for you. You can't just say things about the culture and it's gonna slide, and
yeah,
that's where it really fostered from. And just seeing it play out, I could see where Black Americans really don't understand like how they foster a lot of issues within in terms of the division
yeah.
with the culture.
So
Um,
before we get deep in this, all right?
mhm,
Let me stick. What you think about just the track and field part of it, right?
right.
What's your opinion on that? Where we should get banned for and what happened? What's your opinion on that? Just the track and field part before we get in the other part.
Well, my honest opinion is that you know you have to be real. Like, she asked for that, okay? At the end of the day, discipline is key to success. And if you have a major event coming up, I would hope that, and I would trust that you would do everything in your might to make sure that you're headstrong and focused, because everybody knows, especially people who are sports fans. The Olympics is like the end all be all for track athletes. So if you as an athlete, you know that your biggest moment to shine, why wouldn't you at least have a form of discipline? But I'm also not going to disregard the fact that she did lose her mom, and she was going through a stressful period, which is very understandable. But then it also makes me question, like, where are her mentors, where are her agents to be there by her side and keep her focused? Because at the end of the day, she's still a young girl, and she's growing up into adulthood, and yes, she's practically adult, but she's still a young girl who needs guidance, and you would expect that guidance to be there, especially when there's a major event happening in her life and she's going through so much stress. I would imagine her having that resources, but just her approach of handling the situation, you could see it's not there.
Yeah,
So when it comes to, like, her being banned, like, she's to be blamed for it. She's to be held responsible for that. But I could also understand, how she may have loose focus just
yeah.
going through a stressful time.
And one of the reasons I caught up on this episode, because Carter was a athlete himself. I mean, he's in the
Mhm.
track for Calabar. So me just you want hear theme perspective on
Right.
that part. But yeah, my opinion on this, right, is like is similar to yours in a sense where um how to put it, not to just refer what you say, just that she don't understand what the rule was, right?
Right.
If the argument is it a stupid rule, that's a different conversation. You
Exactly.
get what I'm saying? We can argue and say like, marijuana, really? But then again, the conversation now can understand like what some people say, well, marijuana can use as a masking tool to throw
Right.
off other stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna debate that part of it. But the part where like I agree with it is that's on our responsibility. Where's the guidance? We all of that. We understand you went to a tragic event, losing your mom and all of that, which is empathetic too. But at the same time, you are a professional athlete. She's
Exactly.
21 or something like that. Like
Mhm.
we know it's a child, but she's 21. She's a professional
Right.
athlete. She Nike endorse, like, come on, like this. So there's certain common sense, which then for me to think that sometimes people self sabotage themselves. You have people who do that.
Exactly.
You have some people
And
who, when the pressure come on them or the spotlight, and they can sometimes they literally self sabotage themselves. You know what I
yep,
mean? Most of us maybe know people in our personal life who are like that. So
true.
that's a way. That's something I thought about too when I saw everything I'm like, why would you do this? This is like, it don't make no sense. Like,
Same thing I said.
it didn't make any sense. Because first I was thinking like, is doping she text there? I'm like, nah. Then them say weed. I'm like, might as well you text there, right? Because it's like, because to me, I'm like, that makes more sense. Like weed, bro, you mess up your opportunity for friggin' weed. So that kind of did. It was more of disappointment in that sense. When it comes
Right.
to
And as you said, like sometimes people do self-sabotage. They don't see like this is something serious. You know, they make their quick moment of, you know, quick gratification towards other people just get into their head a little bit where they forget the humility part of it. Like, all right, yes, I'm getting the attention that I always desired, but at the end of the day, I still have to prove a point.
yeah.
So, you know, it's like sometimes we get too big headed where we can't even see like, no, we need to focus at the end of the day. The attention is great, yes, but you want to be respected and well known at the end of the day. And as you was saying, like when I saw it myself that she really got caught for weed, I'm like, how? Like in that moment I would have been like, no, look at my competitors, the biggest all my competitors who are Jamaican in fact, they never got caught with weed. The only thing they got banned for is taking medication, which is really stupid. Right? So and for me, I would have just looked at myself and said, really? Against a country full of like
And then
known for that.
you understand? And then even that's what I'm saying. That's that too. Like the stereotypical thinking Jamaican and weed and all of that. And none of them never ever get, because we understand most of the athletes them near in Jamaica with discipline, and we understand what the goal is. You understand?
Exactly.
But the next part of it I want to discuss also is where a lot of people are make this excuse for her, and it's like,
Yes.
first of all, them hype her up like, yes, she the fastest woman in the world. I'm like, what the? Man, we living in this world. But that's the one thing I give it to America still. America have a media machine.
And they run
Like
with
they
it.
ride for their people.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? I don't care when America have its problem and stuff, but if you is a sports athlete in America, and another country coming at an American athlete, America ride for them people.
That is
And I
true.
respect that. Because end of the day, them change the narrative to this girl being the fastest girl in the world. I'm like, like, what we are talking about? And while at the same time, Shelly-Ann run goddamn Elaine Thompson and Shelly-Ann run the fastest time, like within a week or two of she running and acting. Like, come on.
Exactly. Sharika Jackson, Brianna Williams.
It's like three people already beat her. Like, come on. She had the sixth fastest time. She ran the sixth fastest time. Like, we need to say that. We need to and stop saying like she's a fat. Like, there's several people.
Right.
She don't hold the world record. Like, I don't know. Like, so that's what I'm saying is like, but them change the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the blog, them a post it and I say she had the fastest woman alive, where
And
where we have to repost it and remind them like, yo, Shelly and Fraser still alive and well.
Exactly.
Like simmer down. And even Jamaica Trials, you look at Jamaica Trials, the three people them were coming at it first, second, and third, run a faster time. Like what what we talking about? Yeah, so that did piss me off. But then again, I understand. I feel them people, them I gotta ride them people, them I gotta change the narrative, whatever. But the excuse that people use like she wasn't supposed to be banned, to me, it's just mind blowing. Listen, rules are rules. There's people forget like America is not the world. That's what sometimes I want them to understand is that America is not America banner. Is the world athletics, whatever, WADA, whatever they call themselves.
Just the games, the world games.
They're the one who, because the thing is, weed illegal in 19 states in America. Not that's one, right? Also, there's a lot of countries in the world. Weed is they will throw you in prison. For life, for weed, exactly. And this is a world game, so it's a few country. It's a very small country in the world that weed is fully illegal, like no restriction on it. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's 10 country out of the 180 or 190 country. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like we live in this delusional over here when it comes to that part. Even yesterday, even Michelle Obama them and the all of these celebrity and like you have to understand if we not argue so the rule needs to be changed and
Then
all of
that's
that,
fair.
do that.
Right.
Argue that. But don't say no, at the time when the rule was that's just what it is. You understand? I was listening to some let me ask you something on Nightly Flicks. And I must say, if that was Shellian, we would have been pissed at Shellian. Like if that was Shellian Fraser, like
Jamaicans would have had a fit.
I would have been mad at her. We even be mad at the
Exactly.
sis. We'd have mad at her. Like, come on, you get what I'm saying? But here we do the thing where, yeah. So.
And you know where this goes back to what I was saying. Like it all stems from that white man's mentality of entitlement. Like, oh, I'm privileged and I know my privilege, so I must reap, and it doesn't matter what you have to say. I'm entitled to do this and that and the third. And it's like Black Americans don't notice how they pick up the same mentality when it comes to Black Americans against the world. And it's like I understand why why it's like that within the society, because some of the, it's not, I'm not going to say most, because times and things are changing when people are traveling, but some Americans
Just
still
for disclosure for me, like some, because the other half of my family are all
they're not.
American.
Yeah.
No, like my wife, cause my wife is from New Orleans. You know what I
Oh.
mean. So half of our family, they're American, and our cousin was even having discussion over the last weekend because she had one of the people. Yeah, she was champion. Oh, she shouldn't get this, and she started conflate like all the Black issues we have with the Olympics in one.
Yes.
Which I said I agree that the Olympics do have certain issues and certain decisions they make that does only affect the Black athlete.
Right.
But this issue here is not one of them. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like we pile every. They were like trying pile. She was piling everything together, all of these other issues in one, and I'm saying like, all right, I understand them issues that exist, but this issue with she failing a drug test is not a racial issue.
But you see, that's the narrative that the media always pushes towards Black Americans, that everything has to do with race, to the point where a situation like this easily turns into race because they can't see anything other than the race card. So what you find is you have politicians like ACOC, she's pushing the narrative too. You have celebrities who's pushing the narrative too, instead of saying, but wait, all right, yes, it's fair, it's unfair that, marijuana is banned and etc. And of course, the racial history behind the ban for marijuana. But at the same time, when are we going to hold our people accountable? Because that's also essential to our growth as a diaspora. If we just pass in and just saying, oh, yeah, she did this, but it doesn't matter, let her run. Like, no, we have to form discipline and structure within our community in order to soar and reap. And I think that's where globally, and not just only globally, because even one of her teammates, she was very, upset about that and frustrated. She was like, there's so many other talented Black American athletes who did their best and really put their efforts and work into making it this far into the Olympics and get into the Olympics, to the fact that now to not watch the Olympics is very unfair, which I agree. Like, you
They
can't
wanted to cancel. Remember Alex? What's her name? Felix.
Yes.
I forgot her statement. She said something on Twitter, and they wanted to cancel her while she's the most decorated Olympian ever. Like
decorated.
And them not celebrate her as much, and you want to die on a hill for somebody who
just
literally make
out.
a stupid making mistake and then also never been at the Olympic represent this country.
Exactly.
It's to me, it's just it's baffling. And you said something where I wanna jump in it. Not to cut away what you was talking about, but what I've noticed, right, and I've experienced this, you know, when I was younger here and going to school and stuff. Black to black people in America, I kind of understand is their culture. Is not necessary what we think. Like they don't think I'm blank. Not all,
Right.
obviously not all. But I had this
Majority.
conversation. But you have a majority of black people in this country who feel like if you're not a black American with history of slavery roots in this country,
You're not
you are
black.
not black, which is just
Yeah.
which is just a ignorant and a stupid way of thinking. You understand?
And they're trying to push this narrative too, where it's like, oh, foundational Black Americans. That's what they're calling themselves now. Like people who don't what you call it? People who don't come, who, like you said, was not brought up in the slave background, and people who, don't, their descendants is not from American slavery. They're not classified as foundational Black Americans. They're not classified as, other regular people, in terms of just, they're just not classified as foundational Americans, which I often talk about as somebody who's born here, but of course, my parents is Jamaican and stuff. That puts us in an odd position because it's like, all right, back in Jamaica, we're not considered Jamaicans. We're
We're just
considered
black. We're black
Americans.
people.
Right, we're just considered Black or American. And then it's like here now, we don't even want to associate ourselves as American because we find ourselves as, oh, they don't really like us like that, or they diss us in a way that's very disrespectful. We don't even want to
Just to be
classify ourselves
clear,
as that.
we don't want to generalize, because
Right.
I think sometimes even with me when it comes to certain situation, I be careful because it's like sometimes there's a loud minority.
Right.
You understand? And sometimes Twitter and all of them thing here, sometimes we think them people are the majority because them are the loud one. Which
Which is not true.
which is not true. You get what I'm saying? Because you live in New York, most cultures, especially black culture, kind of intertwine in those areas. You know what I mean? We live in place down here, mostly are intertwined, but you have a decent percentage that do think just as like what you said.
Yeah,
been-
like it's
Go ahead.
absolutely ridiculous. Like when it's very recent you find them pushing the whole, yes, foundational Black Americans, even using that statement to just disrespect, immigrants and disrespect like
And the irony, they don't see the same racial and white supremacist tactics. It's like it's the same thing.
the exact same
The
thing.
same thing that they
which is
complain about is the
exactly.
same thing they're doing. I would say for me personally, let me give you my personal experience. I have. I've been in America since 17. I'm not even know. I'm like 35, 36 this year.
Yeah,
Jesus.
so you've been here for a while.
I've been here for a minute, right? And just to be honest, all the negative experience I ever have in this country, even from not racial, you call it, discrimination point of view or any, is all associated with other black people, right? I remember I had this conversation with me when another was in school. I'm in this youth attack, and the man argue with me and tell me say I'm not black. I mean, I'm like, bro, you know how stupid that sound.
Exactly.
No, the conversation come up because him was talking about somebody, this African youth, and him say, yo, him say something, and him say like when I say, oh no, this African youth, I'm say, what you mean? Like he's a black youth or something like that. I don't remember the conversation start. When am I saying not black? He's African. I said, bro, what you mean? Like that don't even make no sense. Him say, yeah, I'm African, you're not black. You know, the only American is black. And I'm like, bro, do you understand how that sound? I mean, I didn't get into it. I'm saying, so what am I? Him say, I'm Jamaican. I'm not black. I said Jamaican is not a race, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
African is not a race. You know what I mean? If you want to argue, say all of this is constructed by sister, all of that. That's not what we argue. But at the time, you call somebody who's from the motherland. If you want to say blacker the black, you're more blacker than you if I say you want to put it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? But it's like you have them people with them thought process. I mean, I don't want to argue anymore. I mean, I say like, you know, I mean, Ed, I couldn't understand it. Like, I said, well, we are argue. Like, you know, this don't make
Right.
no sense to me because we
You
actually
don't
like,
grow up in a society, because that's the thing. Like, the rest of the black diaspora does not grow up in a society and culture where it's like, oh yeah, you're not black. It's more colorism, like, oh, browning or light skin and etc. It's not, oh, you're black in a race and this and that. Whereas some black Americans, they view it as, yeah, you're just Jamaican and I'm black. No,
yeah,
we're all black.
we're all black people. That's how it is. But it may have had the discussion and I think on an episode earlier we talked about something
Hmm.
similar like that where, but then again, it's like for somebody who come here young, you were born here, but it's somebody who came into America young, right? And it's like I had to kind of figure out because so many things didn't make sense to me, stuff like that, right? And why
Right.
everything is always racial. Like I said, why I like it, you know what I mean? But then I have to adjust myself and kind of come to an understanding where I'm coming from a country where as messed up as Jamaica can be, majority of my teacher them black. Majority of the politician them black. Majority of the people them who used to run the business here and there black. You get what I'm saying? That's the
Right.
way. That's the way we don't have a mixed society we do. But I'm just saying a lot of people who in a authority position,
Are black.
black policeman, black soldier, black. You get what I'm saying? These
Right.
people who have authority position. So I'm not thinking like somebody who then grew up in a society where majority of the people who in position of power are white. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So it's like, you know, so my lens or way me see things is gonna be different than most people who grew up here, unless
Exactly.
you grew up in a strong household, you kind of grown there in a certain foundation,
Hmm.
and just truth be told, you know, a lot of the black family don't. Most of us don't have that grounded foundation here. You
Right.
know what I mean? We learn most of our stuff on TV and what them tell us in school. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think that's one of the, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why a lot of things just come through the lens of race to most black American and most people who grew up in America, because just the way the society is designed,
Exactly.
it just seems like everything is racial. I hear it from the media, the politician, I hear it from everybody. So
Right. And that's why, like, even in terms of the whole Pan-Africanism movement, right? I mean, back in the days, you found, and that could be questioned too, because once again, it was really like some Black Americans who knew the significance of what Marcus Garvey was preaching and stuff. But you still have a few who don't really understand, like, coming together as one and the benefit of just all of us, like, really celebrating our success, because that's what made Jamaica Twitter and America, Black American Twitter kick off. Because for Jamaicans, they're just looking at it as, why do you guys always have to try to downplay other Black success that's out there versus, just only paying attention to yours. But I think, as you said, like, we don't Jamaicans, they more have a society, and they're more aware to the mixed culture society where they see beyond race. Where, as for Black Americans, it's hard to see that because it's constantly pushed. Like, if there's an issue, some way, somehow, race is in the mix. So they're
everything.
gonna right. So they're gonna run with it to the fullest to try to get its to get the benefit out of it. But this is where we're gonna, like, going back to our first topic, like, the accountability part and just making sense out of it matters, because now, on a global aspect, you can make the subject of race become a joke out topic. Because people on the outside could just be saying, "Oh, so everything they have to use race for, they're complaining about nothing. They're lying and this and that." Sometimes we have to like really think about things from a global perspective and not just narrow minded in what's happening in our culture.
No, you're 100% right, and that topic I wanted to say where I think one of the thing is for most American here, where Black American, and we have even discussion is they're very narrow minded, and
Right.
I don't blame it fully on them. Like I said, it's just typically most Jamaican, remember we pick up ourselves from a whole another country and come to a
Mm-hmm.
foreign country. So naturally our perspective on things just gonna be different. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because end of the day we have something where we can basically we can compare a situation to, right? While most don't. Like I always said, you can talk when you have a conversation with somebody who travel and somebody who don't travel, it's very different. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Unless the
Black
person
or
is
white, it doesn't even matter. If you talk to somebody
right.
who once then travel and then go to them place and you talk to them, say, yeah, either them appreciate things more here in America, or them say, yeah, I can see all this. You get what I'm saying? Than somebody
Exactly.
who have never left the block. Them always, them
They're
never go
always
anywhere. So it's
there.
like, them don't have no point of reference. You get what I'm saying? So I think
Yep.
that's what most of us struggle with, where, especially like I said, the situation. You cannot die. You cannot die on the hill for this. Die on the hill for something else. Because then, if you're gonna die on the hill, if you have met this an issue and you're gonna die on the hill for this issue, then every other issue are gonna
You
become
go
irrelevant.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what them now look at it like that. Focus might as well we were processing about they won't allow the black company to do the swimming cap thing and for the black
Yeah,
that,
those
that
type
that's
of subjects
that's
matter.
a very credible situation for protest about. Not
Exactly.
somebody who smoke weed, smoke a banned substance and get banned. That's nothing for Diana for.
But you see, because of our culture nowadays, it's like instant gratification is also the cause of this because people just see something that's working and they say yay, and then when they find out that it's being attacked, it's like they don't really like that. So of course they're gonna try to come and rebel that. But as you said, it's not something that makes sense to die on the hill for. As you pointed out, there's more important issues. Just like you said with the swimming cap. Why wasn't there a big rally about that when that was absolutely ridiculous?
It was ridiculous, and to me, that's something to die on a hill for. I'm like, this don't make, that
Exactly.
definitely didn't make any sense. But yeah, we don't want to go like in a circle about this. But my just opinion on it. You know what I mean? She deserved the ban what she get.
Right.
Do we need to look more in the rule and see why it doesn't make sense or not? Yes. Then
Mm-hmm.
they can determine and make a decision why them think weed is this or that. They might know.
Right.
So but is it a topic to discuss and it might need for look into since the world changing. And I mean we have become normalized in a lot of spaces that it wasn't a couple of years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so if that's the conversation, I am with that conversation. Did this girl break a rule and need to be accountable for? 100%. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And we just need to not lose that side of accountability. And cause this is a show you a bigger issue overall, where
With just
in
America in general as a society.
and as a society, like we lack accountability. We always make excuses for stuff. Yeah, I remember when I used to work for this company, right? And
Mm-hmm.
used to manage there, and it's like you have people come try to, they come into work late every day, and then we come like 5 minutes late, and then they argue with me and say, "Yo, Nick, it's just 5 minutes," and I'm like, "Bro," and I said, "That's a problem. You think
Exactly.
it's
It's
just
just
five
five
minutes?
minutes.
You know what I mean? These 5 minutes add up, and it set everything back. You get what I'm saying? If you
Right.
come late and you get, but it's like the mentality I always struggle with. Is like, yo, if your start time is 7 o'clock, come at 7 o'clock or right before 7. No, you come in 5 after 7, 10 after 7. Bro, you
Don't make
late.
sense. Exactly.
You
Don't
get
make
what I'm saying?
sense.
And it's like to them, it's like, man, it's just 5 minutes. I'm like, no, you're just 5 minutes had up every week. You get what I'm saying? Cause everything to slow down because we work on time. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, but that's just showing me our society. It's like them not think, them little stuff that to me add up.
Right.
And
And
then
it's they don't feel like it matters. Like for them it's just like, yeah, it's anything. But no, it matters. What if you there's something major that needs to be accomplished right now, and you just because you're so laid back about your approach, you miss out on, accomplishing that.
yeah. And just like this girl, she missed out the opportunity where she could have go to the Olympics, possible quote unquote win a gold medal and get celebrated.
Yeah.
Possible, but it's not gonna happen. But me just like say, what I mean, at least she could have known if she could have. You get what I'm saying? But no, she don't know if she could have. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but like I said, is a lot to this conversation, and like when I say the racist and the discrimination stuff from like Black American towards like Jamaican, all of a sudden we are monkey third world country. I remember this lady at time called me back in the day. So I'm a coconut. I didn't understand what that mean. But somebody tell me like, yeah, that's what they call you when you're from the island, like, you know what I mean? But it's like so you have them, I don't know. So them learn from the they learn from the masters of it. You know what I mean? The same thing you fight about here when it comes to white supremacy and racism. Anytime you see in a situation, you see this loud, vocal people on social media being very racist and very discriminating
Towards
the
their
same
own.
people, their own people.
Right.
All of us are the same. We're just born in different places. That's it.
Exactly. And this goes back to like what I was discussing, because recently too with Spice, I don't know if you saw the interview with Charlemagne and Spice when she
Yeah,
was saying, dancehall started hip hop. And
yeah,
that has so much of a lot of, as they call themselves, foundational Black Americans press about just the overall topic of who started dancehall, when it's just actually a fact. Like when you look into hip hop, it was a dancehall DJ who, you know, put up two sound, as Jamaicans would
and
say.
they make it and they end up evolve and make it their own. It's like
Exactly.
if but that's I don't even saw the thing I posted today when I said the fact that Jamaica can be in every conversation with America when it comes to sport, music, and academics. You only show you how great Jamaica is. Because people
Exactly.
forget in America have, and then even us Jamaican, more time I have a chat to my brethren back in Jamaica, where them love compare stuff with America, and I'm like, bro, so you will. Jamaica is, the city where we live in alone, the state where we live in Jamaica, maybe we can put Jamaica maybe 3 times in that one state.
For
Okay?
real.
So, but it's like, sometimes brethren in Jamaica love say, well, America and me like, bro, calm down.
No,
Jamaica,
don't.
they have 3 million, less than 3 million people. America have 330 million people, okay? And when you look on the size of this country, I think they supposed to America is like, what? 3.8 million square miles. And Jamaica is only 4,200 square miles. So it's you get what I'm saying? So
That's like a
it's nothing.
comparison. Right.
But when you talk about, we always have them debate if Jamaica still in the conversation when you come to sports. We are America's. We are the competitor. We are the nemesis. American nemesis when it comes to track and field. Imagine that. You get what I'm saying? That the way you show us that we're great. You get what I'm saying? This country,
Exactly.
we're huge, have all of the resources, have all of the different diversity of people all over the world, and this one country still
Keep on whipping them.
you know what I mean? That shows us we're great. You know what I mean? When it comes to music, like I said, we are we are part of the foundation. Yes, when you think about when you go back in America, in even American recent history, and most of the people them who we are pushed for equality and black power and all of that. Majority of them, if they wasn't of Caribbean descent, their parents or one of them parents was like. There's a large percentage of us when you come from the music industry from back in the day, from civil rights from back in the day, all of that. There's a large percentage
Caribbean.
of this Caribbean heritage, and it's like we kind of sometimes want to wipe that
Off.
off the map, like it's not irrelevant, but it's relevant because that shows that regardless of what we are, if we come to America, most of us transition here, we take it as our own. We pick up the fight just like anybody else. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's one of the reasons too why I'm not really an advocate for the whole. I'm like, I support it, but at the same time, I'm not an advocate for when foundational Black Americans, pardon me, use their agenda to push the division between the diaspora, because at the end of the day, all of the diaspora feed off of each other. I
Exactly.
mean,
And do you remember that whole opera over what's her name? The singer from UK, the white lady.
Adele.
Adele with the
Oh my,
Jamaican thing. And
yeah, and
everybody
then
over here. And it's like, it just keep. Even this girl was reposting this video with this girl on MSNBC talking about, them whatever the culture. And I'm like, I even come and I said, Margaret, you're not even Jamaican. Like, relax. You ask us how we feel. We don't
because
give a shit.
right, because if you come to the Caribbean, you'll see it's something that. All right, look at Uptown people. They love Carnival more than anyone else in Jamaica, and you don't see Jamaicans coming out and you know saying, "Oh, they need to take that off" and stuff. They allow
We
them to, and
don't.
they
The expectation
exactly,
is if you come to Jamaica and you like F with Jamaicans, we expect some of the things supposed to rub off on you. You get what I'm saying? If you're around a bunch
exactly,
of Jamaican, if you're American and you're a bunch of around a Jamaican, you never once try to talk patois. I don't trust your brethren. I don't trust you. If you don't want to see me, I say, yo, what go on or something. I
yeah,
don't trust, like, you get what I'm saying? It's just the expectation. Like, we
right.
don't think about it. And I mean, and the worst thing me hate, Lord, is what me say. Jamaican, I try to pick up this Americanized cancel culture thing.
Oh my
Oh,
God, yes, yes. Because that's becoming a major issue too with online Jamaicans. Like they're trying to adapt that style of yes, let's just cancel them and not and being ignorant, not listening out. And you know who really highlights that problem that I noticed? Buju. You may not agree with him, but I mean, just take 2 seconds to just listen to the man and what he has to say. Because, all right, some of the things he say I question too, but it's not to say that oh, I'm gonna say yeah, we need to cancel him. No.
no. No, listen. I'm me and Carter did an episode called Cancer Culture in 2019. Okay? 2019.
You
So
guys have been over it.
we've been over it because it's like something been said because I'm a person like listen, it's very simple.
Hmm.
If I don't like you, I don't watch it. Like I don't force myself. Like I don't
So
have an
watch
opinion.
you.
Like I don't if I don't like I'm not gonna watch something that I don't like. I'm not gonna
Right.
listen to something that I don't like. And that's it.
Exactly.
You know, Lord, if you ever hear me tweet, see me tweet or post something, I talk about this person must go. Like Bojo. Bojo shot a lot of fucker. You know what I do with Bojo? I follow Bojo, because I like Bojo. But when my Bojo talk fucker, you know what I do? I
Just keep
swipe past it.
scrolling.
Come on,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
got
Like
time. And I don't care.
exactly.
That's all me thing. The fact that when we see people who spend them time listen to somebody, spend
And
hours
complain.
into it, and then a protest. I don't know. Just switch the channel, no brethren. Change the track. I don't know. I don't get it. That's one thing me not get. The
Yeah.
cancel people would think like that.
And it just doesn't make any sense, especially when you think about Jamaica as a society, because Jamaicans are known for their very controversial conversations
we're
and
vulgar
topics.
and we speak our mind.
Exactly.
There's a lot. I mean, I said there's a lot of things, but we need to check out before we think we start reach to some of them. A lot of things we need to fix and change about the culture before we start worrying about them things. Yeah. So one thing I want to ask you, I'm see a post about it all the time, and this come back down to we say support like I don't say support. But you question like the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So give me your opinion on that. Why? Because I kind of have a feeling why. Because I think we share certain same sentiment with it. I
Right.
just want to hear you what you think. Why?
Well, for me, all right. When it first came out and when it first started, like I was for it because I'm saying yes, the movement is pushing for social justice when it comes to Black Americans and just overall the Black community. But when like after the whole George Floyd thing, there's no information about where the money is going to. I personally donated when that whole George Floyd thing going to. So it also made me foster just doubts about, Black Lives Matter and its agenda, and just seeing how their focus is not really like the way how they go about just in general justice for Black Americans. It's like they're once again going back to the racial part. They're more focused on like the racial issue, which is of course is key to the Black American issue in this country, but they don't use it in order to like speak up on the more important things in terms of, okay, for example, election last year, right? That would have been the perfect moment for Black Lives Matter to really just speak up and show Black Americans like you don't have to just stick to one side when it comes to like elections. Like let's really question who we're voting and hold these people accountable. So for example, of course a lot of Black Americans, which is understandable, they didn't want Trump to go back in. Okay, fine, but if you're gonna vote somebody like Joe Biden in, why don't you advocate for change? Now that's another problem that you see happening with Black Lives Matter. It's like there's no advocacy for change. It's like they're just sitting back and allowing these things to happen, which a lot of people, including myself, is just questioning them as an organization. Like, are you really about change or are you really just about just clout?
But you have two Black Lives Matters. And I think most of us don't know the distinction. You have the organization, that's the online thing, the Marxist views and all of that nonsense. And then you have the activist movement, right?
Right.
People understand it's two. So for me, the activist movement of Black Lives Matter, I support.
Right.
You understand? But the other side, they say that the girl used to spend $90 million home and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
They're part of the Black Lives Matter organization, which is different. If you look on their website, they advocate for some bunch of nonsense where
exactly. You have to
question.
question.
You know what I mean?
You have to sit there and question and say,
so
are you guys really advocating for Black lives or are you advocating
and
for
I think the Black
people
Lives
of
Matter
color?
organization, they're not. If you go on their
Exactly.
website, it's very fishy. And even if you listen to
The girl, Kimberly.
And if it was what the activist, she was on the Breakfast Club. If I say her name, you know her. Molly. I forgot. Charlemagne always call her name. I might have forgot her name. But even when they ask her about that question, right? Like if should I say, oh yeah, them all right over there. We should talk about the organization. But she said she's the activist. Them are Black Lives Matter, they're the activists. So even with Malika Mallory or something, what's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, even she as an activist, a black activist, I tell you that they're separate from the organization. And a lot of people donate to the organization and not the activist group. Which organization to me, in my opinion, is not the betterment of black people.
It's
You
not.
understand?
It's not.
And
You find like if you pay attention, you'll find more of the activists speaking up about relevant issues, questioning. Because even when the whole hate crime bill for Asians came out, they were the first ones to speak up. They were like, we're here advocating, and there's nothing being done, and etc. But when it comes to the organization, it's like a joke show. Like there,
yeah,
the woman, the founder, she's just buying up her $1 million home in Beverly
and I heard
Hills.
people defending her like, listen, if she have a business and she make her money with her business, I have no issue with
Right,
that.
right.
But the fact that you have an organization and people are donating money, and you do all of this and I get like, listen. My thing is, I question a lot of things, and even one of the stuff with like our religion in our community and all of that. Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
spend much money, we spend much money, we're not getting to that kind. That I got take was a convert. But the fact that we as a community, like me not trust people who make money off of outrage. I'm a
Right.
person. If you're an activist, I believe you should get paid, if especially you put yourself on the front line. But there's the people who, is anybody who you see on Twitter want cancel people, who you see them outraged by everything, and that's the only time them relevant. I've never trust them people. You get what I'm saying? I'm a type of person. I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm very skeptical and I'm very objective. Like I
You
literally,
question.
I question stuff like I said.
Right.
What's your rule? What's going on here? What's your take on this? How this will benefit you? And if you don't say nothing,
Right.
then say okay, good. But I'm always a person. I try my best when it comes to political issue and these type of issue. I try to move less with emotion,
And more logics.
and more logic and objectivity. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? But I think what we suffer with, most of us in our community, we move a lot with
Emotionally.
emotion.
Right. And we see that play out over and over. Like especially when it comes to elections, our people we move very reactive, and we don't take the moment to question. And even like, okay, like me and you, if we're going to speak about elections, we would speak about it from a policy side, or we would speak about it from just outweighing the options and really like going in depth with the candidates, versus the average person. They're just listening to the news
Me
outlet
like
and
that
saying,
person there.
yeah.
Me like how he move, man. Him see him cool, man. Yeah, man. No, me not give a
Exactly.
shit about cool. Like, bro, like, you get what I'm saying?
What could
Like,
you do for me and my folks? What are you gonna do
what we
for my
doing?
life?
Like, what we
Exactly.
doing? Like, I'm saying the last election was, for me,
It was
I
tense.
don't think I even take an opportunity. I don't typically. A lot of people will say they want to hear my opinion on election. 'Cause I don't think I did an episode talking about it. But the last election was kind of tough for me in the
It
sense
was.
decision, right? Because Trump was just exhausting, man. It was annoying. Like, shit was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't go through the day, you get alert on your phone. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, it was just getting too much, right?
Right.
But again, I'm a person also. It's upon the thing objectively. Like people say, you have people who say Trump never do nothing good. I'm not that person. A lot of shit Trump do was fucked up, and there's a lot of shit,
That he helped.
that they help. And I think and people like to downplay them stuff there.
Right.
But when it comes to the election though, for me, you know what I mean, I voted for Biden, but it was hard for me. But then at the day, I knew why I was voting.
Right.
I was voting because I look at, I think me and you have this conversation long back and forth. Me and you talk about like the judges, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I see
yeah.
how that can impact everything where that me and you want to get done. That can impact
A lot.
in the long term. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, me, I'm mostly focused mostly on local election. You know, who are run locally and all of that stuff, them focus on that more.
Right,
But when
right.
it comes to the federal, I think more about the judges. What people don't understand, and I try to explain it, like, yeah, it may not seem important to some,
But it is
but
important.
remember, every law that passes in this country, anybody can challenge, right? And it go through a process. From even if you're locally, you go through from your local courts, and it can go through up to your state court, then the circuit court, then you go to the Supreme Court.
Right.
if those people want that, doesn't matter what the law is, because that's what set the precedent for everything. When you talk about police killing and black people and all of that stuff, police got sued and that got all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court are the ones that the president say, if police feel his life is in jeopardy, him have the right to use deadly force. Them make the language. You get what I'm saying? That's why police don't have to justify using deadly force. Them just have to feel. You get what I'm saying?
No, I definitely get it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, when people like, so when I look at those stuff, like, we can't all of these laws passed, but also all of them people who put in a power in the circuit or from the federal level, them are the one who kind of certify that laws. You get what I'm saying? So that's stuff like that I look at when I want to vote on a federal level. Locally is different. You know what I mean? We vote on where you say you do, because where you do locally affect me way more.
Exactly, because that's one of the I would say positive things about this country. Like when you're focused on local elections, like you could really see the direct impact. So if I'm supposed to go out there and vote for you, I know why I'm going out there and voting, because I see that you're doing something positive within the community. Versus federal, like me personally, I'm not gonna say that I have the highest interest, because I don't see, yes, I get it. We're in terms of the law perspective, but at the end of the day, it's all about the candidate. And if there's not a candidate that actually is going to sit there and make sense in the long term, I question that, and I ask if it's worth my energy getting involved. Because, all right, a lot of people would have to say, yeah, Trump this and Trump that. And a lot of people have their opinions about Biden too, but at the end of the day, when you look at both of them, they both have a lot of bad things about them. So it's
they're similar. Like in the primary, I voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Right.
I voted for Bernie. They fight him out.
Right, even that. Most people would fight him out and have a lot of things to say, but really and truly, when you look at it from an unbiased perspective, he's one of the best advocates for the country, because he's somebody who's justable. He's somebody who's very inclusive. Apart from the other two who were dominating the primaries and who was leading, who was running against each other in the end, and then you're there worrying like, damn, like. It's just the evil versus the lesser evil. Who am I gonna?
Up to now, black people didn't get anything. We have not get anything specifically for black people. Anything. All them, they will say, well, we passed this. No, you passed it for everybody.
Exactly.
We have not passed something specifically for black people in this country.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people say, oh, hell, so you rather have Trump in it? That's not the question. I don't care. You're in it right now, so I'm supposed to can hold you accountable. That's the point. You know what I mean? So, when it comes to the next election, we even not tired too much. I'll tell people this right now. If the Republican put a strong candidate, like somebody who, not a Trump, but somebody who can balance the thing,
right?
They're not going to win again. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, because somebody like me who's very political, who believe in voting and they should participate in the process, I'm starting to watch them and be like, yo, exactly. I don't think I even want to vote in this shit anymore. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you're weird on somebody like me, who I'm telling you,
who's a proud advocate.
I vote in every election. Like I vote in even the half election when nobody not care about. I will vote. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying I'm that person, and I'm just saying I'm starting to feel like.
Is it worth my time? I don't even want to
deal with this shit anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, and I know a lot more people might be feeling just like how I'm feeling.
Could you imagine, like, you're sitting, you guys, because I watched it. Like, I saw my friends, my closest friends, everybody around basically advocating to vote and stuff like that. And just to see, like, a big slap in the face at the end of the day, them not doing anything. That's disappointing. And then when you look at it, this goes back to the subject of accountability. There's none. There's none.
They make it. Yeah, they just. Nobody ain't talking. Like everybody just been smooth
Exactly.
sailing. But
No,
listen, we can talk about politics on
forever.
forever, on and on. But we don't spend any less than a couple minutes there talking about that. But is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Um, Not really, because dancehall been kind of boring right now.
I take shot at that. So the
But
last.
it's true. Like I want some excitement, and I know that COVID definitely has a little impact to do with it. But I love when dancehall is exciting. That's the culture. It brings the fun, and I miss the whole stage concert, show culture too. So just to see the impact and how it affected dancehall is just like very disappointing right
So let
now.
me ask you this, and I think you're pretty good at ask this question.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously I'm older than you, so
Right.
you're born what 2000.
No, 1999.
Yeah, high school them time there.
Yeah.
All right. So music for you when you come to dancehall, right? To me, when I follow you, it seems like you're more into the old school dancer. But I want to understand that. Why? Because I would think at the young generation, you'll be into this trap dancehall type of scenario and the bang bang and all of this rapping. I don't know. So, what do you think about the current dancehall?
Well,
This is your generation dancehall. So, what do you think about
right.
your generation dancehall?
Well, I had because as a kid we had my generation. We had the privilege of hearing the TOK and the old time Vibes Cartel and growing up in when dancehall was at its like greatest, seeing the dances, learning the dances and all of that. But naturally I like all renaissance things and things of the past, but at the same time I also embrace the new dancehall because I do love the skilly, I do love the massacre, I do love these new artists. But my only problem with this new dancehall is like its quality of sticking, like yes, they're producing trending hot music, and yes, they're producing music that sounds good, but it's not lasting as long as the other dancehall vibes is. Because when I listen to a Get Busy from Sean Paul back then to like uh Skilly Bang, Hot and something. That's just it's no comparison, or even or no, I can't compare that because Crocodile Tea is really that's one of my favorites still. But at the end of the day, it's just no comparison. Like Sean Paul what he created versus like the new generation. They're still growing, of course, but it's just like when those old folks came out and when these folks came out, it's a big difference. So but then you also have to take in consideration that the old folks, the old veterans and such, they were groomed, right? They were in the studio learning, getting their practice in from battling out in the stage show. Remember, Sting was popping back in the day, so they were grooming themselves for these concerts.
I
Versus,
said, um, I don't even listen to the episode I did with Reggae Lover.
hmm
Um, we'll talk about this. Me, I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up on a sound system. My uncle used to own a sound called Labens.
right?
Labens sound in Duane Park. I mean, uncle named Ricky Villa. That's where Sprague Benz come from. I mean, the early Baby Sham time they
hmm
from. So it's like, so I grew up. So when I'm in a primary school and down there on a Friday night, the son I play a rhythm, and everybody want on DJ. All of the young DJ them come and take a mic and them DJ up on the rhythm. You have the showtime rhythm, you have the superstar rhythm, and that's a play all night,
Right.
and everybody. So what I was trying to say is that I'm from the era where actually 90% of the artists that we grew up with learn to perform before they ever put anything down on a
A
wax
record.
on a record or anything.
Exactly.
So so you have Say the music I play. So say them I learn off it, deliver on a random track. Cause whatever the DJ I play, you have to jump on it.
Right.
Right. The best way to highlight that, the Bunty and Beanie Man verses, right?
Right.
And Bunty play the look at the thing where
The
I take over TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then them just start DJ a bunch of different songs on it, right?
Right.
I come from that era where that was it. The Showtime I play, even if that song never meant for Showtime, even that song is a faster song, a slower song. When you get the Showtime rhythm, you're gonna manage your tempo for match the rhythm, right? So what I'm saying that majority of the artists them all the artists them where you know now, that's how them learn. Before them even ever going on studio and voice a song. A stage show keep, man them say, yo, you got 3 minutes to impress the crowd. So you have to go up there in 3 minutes and a song there, even less than 3 minutes, have to impress the crowd in that time there. Alright, next person go on. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you see the Bunty, the Beanie, the Baby Sham, them, the Sizzler, the
even
Capitan,
Lexus.
when you see Lexus, when you see Vegas, when you see them man they are perform, and you see them can actually perform,
they groom themselves.
Because back then it wasn't a choice. The only way you get big. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The busy them. But they say like the nowadays artists now, them song, majority of them are well produced. Production
For real.
is great.
Right.
Production is great, well produced, but them can't perform for shit.
They can't. And and then it's just like, all right, the trap dancehall, like, it's trendy. That's one of the biggest advantage of it. But it's not something that's durable. It's not something that's lasting long. And then, when you say this, a lot of people view you as a hater, but it's just honestly the truth. Like, I love it.
Can them tour on that song a couple of years from now?
No. No. It's a fact.
Baby Sham not write the next song again. Bunty not write the next song again.
I remember when we got hit with COVID-19, 2020, right? 2019, Baby Sham came to Wingate Park and performed, and it was like it was a new song, because that's how much like those songs stick. It's still from people.
Did he perform with a live band?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I know
him love him live band.
I think so, because it was him and Sprugga. So it was like a Renaissance era in terms of going back into the 90s, early 2000s. But it just showed you at that moment like how good music lasts long, especially when artists get that groovement. So I think one of the things that new dancehall could work on, like, they're good, but new dancehall could work on is just the grooming aspect, and also making music that's just more durable. Because, of course, you want to adapt to the times and adapt to the changes, but you also want to make music that lasts.
Yeah, like,
because we only could name a few artists that really like perform well in the trap dancehall era. You can't name a lot.
No. And the last episode do with reggae music forever, Sean, and him said, him put it well. Him said this new music is more about, you call it braffing, or is a swag thing, or is not
badness.
Really about, it's more of, it's not nothing to do with real like talent. And like the big thing people say is, the rhythm versus the song and all of that. And, I mean, that's a big thing now, at least for me. And the reason why I asked this question, because, they would have said me still stuck in my time.
Yeah, I understand.
and I don't think it's stuck in my time, because end of the day,
it's just the truth.
The truth is, and the numbers shows.
Exactly.
The numbers show. I would take, for instance, like I said, my wife family, they're from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
But they still mess with the 90s reggae. Like, even a brother who's younger than her, him still love
The Sean Paul, the
Yeah,
Vegas.
you Sean Paul, not even you mean know the old rhythm them or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it remind them maybe when he was overseas. I remind my wife like when she was in college or whatever.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Even like our younger cousin, they don't mess with reggae. They can't tell you one dancehall. They don't know nobody. You get
They
what I'm
don't.
saying?
And
And that
that's the
wasn't a
thing.
thing. At least when I came to America, at my younger age, everybody knew TOK.
Oh, y'all was having fun in your younger days. Because even, all right, my college that I went to Binghamton University. It's known for a party school, right?
Yeah,
Especially when it came to the reggae and dancehall scene. And when I remember when I was first when I was first going there, they was like, "Oh, you going to Binghamton? That's a party school." I said, "Really? It's not no more. It's boring." And it just go and they were shocked, but I was like, that just shows you like the difference with just the culture and how it's being embraced. Because if dancehall still was embraced the way it was, pretty sure the Caribbean culture at Binghamton would still soar. Binghamton would still be a party school, but it changed, you know. So
it does. And like I said, hopefully it's just a stage them I go through and then can find, you know what I mean, find the I don't know what am I look for, but is like I said this already. I say it again. So people listen to about them. Me always whenever we talk about music, I say this. Music always gonna evolve, but you cannot
right,
lose your foundation. That's it.
true,
All of them rhythm here sound flat, boring. If you play it by yourself, you know it sound like garbage. But
exactly.
but if me draw for you a Showtime rhythm now, and play the rhythm by itself, the dance have mash up see me. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? If you pull out, you know, one of my favorite is bounce rhythm. Like just the fact the rhythm just start play and the bass a drop. Nobody now have to sing on the track. Like you just play it
exactly.
at any crowd and people just start. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You understand? Because that way because guess what? It have the bass line in it, the drum and bass will make people go with people heart. You get what I'm saying? Them
right.
rhythm, I don't know what them are do. I don't know. Sound like some bunch of hip hop, fake hip hop. That's what it sound like to me.
One of my favorite, even though she of course does like the way how she performs and interacts, it's just natural. Chanel Moore. I don't know if you are up to date with her. The one who sings Yamabella.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen her
Oh
perform.
my,
So
she's a great performer, and she's a new one that came out. And even before she bust, I definitely saw her having her moment because yes, she may do the new dancehall, but if you were supposed to give her old time rhythm, I'm pretty sure she would execute as well because she just has that natural flavor. And she actually was groomed, if you want to say so, because she was on Magnum, King and Queens, and those type of um stage shows and just contests. So that's one of my favorites where I really say, if they take a page out of her book, trap dancehall won't really be seen just purely as bad because it would have a flow to it where, yeah, the beat is kind of, but at least there's a balance where if you're supposed to go out and perform,
yeah,
people would still enjoy it.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say no. We have a couple artists right now where one of my favorite. Massacre one of my favorite. Governor
Hmm.
one of my favorite currently. You know what I mean? So yeah, people have this time who may actually listen to. Are my favorite. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Big up Quada as well. It's like, we have Vibes Cartel top of my food chain, one of my favorite and everything. You know what I mean? But it's like so you still have artists, even new artists, you know what I mean, where still I do them thing and we
Right.
appreciate their music. But I don't talk about the overall. Them have to find them niche, them have to find one kickers. You know what I mean? Long term, I don't see it surviving for them. It have to be
Right.
hot and you have to continue to put out 20, 50 million songs in order to continue still. Because none of these songs is memorable.
It's not, and that's what you find because, all right, even with Spice crossing over, right? She's crossing over, But why is she crossing over for her old songs? Let's face it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she did one of her biggest collabs with Shaggy and Sean Paul. It's a great song and etc. But long term, do you actually think people are going to remember those lyrics?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like we don't know. You understand?
Yeah.
Versus her song, um what's the one? Oh my god, I'm blanking right now. But she has one of those songs. That's what me like it. That one, yeah, that one. Right? That one is gonna soar long term because it's more of the doom, 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 the
Yeah,
hard drum, you know?
the dancehall. That's something I don't. That's something I don't know why they won't do more of it. Because, but then again, I blame also like the DJ them and the people them because because I know people who had tried to do it actually put stuff out there, but them nah the
Get the
DJ
support.
them nah support it. Cause in the idea, if the right DJ them play the right thing, it will change back over.
True.
Because in the idea, as people as fans, me look at it like you never hear a song where you hear the first time, you say, can I hear that song this? But then you
Yes.
hear it like 10 times in a row,
And
and you
it
say you kinda
sticks.
like the song.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing right now.
It
It's
is
like
true.
you play the thing them over and over, then you associate this thing as a good thing, but it's not. You know what I mean? So we need that same type of producer them for coming out and start, balance the culture. You can have both.
Mm-hmm.
Both can survive it. We feel good, we are chill, all our vibes, but we can also have bring back the dancing and the dancehall vibe same way that the hardcore vibe. The both of them can survive it.
Right. And the thing
That's my thing.
a lot of the producers are not pushing for artists to be, well, it's not just only the producers who's not doing it, but the artists equals too. They don't want to be on the same rhythm. So what you find is each
Yeah,
artist is
that too. Yeah.
because I remember back in the days, especially when YouTube was just starting off, and we kids and we want to be in touch with our culture. That's what we would rely on because I used to remember them like flying colors. Oh, I wanted to find this. All right, let me go listen to this rhythm, Caribbean girls rhythm. Da, da, da. That's the type of things that they need to continue because it helps. It really helps.
Because it help. Listen, somebody like me grew up in Jamaica and we went through, and it's so crazy we're talking about this on another episode with Regular Love and talk about beefing, right? I grew up in an era where like Bunty and Sizzler beef, Bunty and Beanie beef, Merciless, the Capleton and the
Everybody
David them and
beefing.
like we grew up in that era like when we're there, yeah, and we can't wait for the next track. And what used to happen is, cause me, like I said, we grew up around music.
Right.
And what used to happen is like, so you do a song and a new rhythm come out. Whatever the name of the rhythm is. Like what you call it, martial art rhythm. We call up that. And like when Bunty and Beanie have them little incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Beanie go voice him tune. And I say something about Bunty and it. Bunty just want to hear Beanie what Beanie say now. And then Bunty just going at the track. Because he want to go harder than what, you get what I'm saying?
Right, to diss him
because
even
it's a
more.
competition. Because it's a competition. I even say it wasn't even a diss. If me and your kind of rival, and me and the same rhythm and you do a song and a girl song and it's shot, and you say, yo, John,
I gotta
come hard for that one,
improve.
yeah. Glory come hard for
Exactly.
that one, yeah. Then guess what? You're going to go to the drawing board and you're going to come, you can't come mediocre now.
Nope. I have to redeem myself.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah.
thing.
None of that competition going on right now, which you can see it water down the wall. You can need competition. I mean, we need it.
Everything
That's
now
our
is
culture.
a bit too sensitive too, because everything you find is, oh, we need unity, but the reality is, yes, we need unity, but not everybody gonna like each other. That's just the
Yeah,
reality.
but
You
then
know what I'm
most of
saying?
the people them say that unity, them fake. Them more
That's
from yes.
that's
I see you did post something about web name. I see you did post something about where Alkaline manager say or some crap him say. Think that's him mother. Cause him you see, can you see me not like people like them that I don't like.
I remember the post.
Yeah,
It
when
was his
Alkaline Nickel
producer.
album come out, I'm a come
Yeah.
talk about we.
Javi was like,
Yeah, like
oh,
make him. It's the people like them that I don't like because it's like, bro,
when
You only want unity because like
Right.
you want something to benefit you right now. Where you was. And that's why you see them come and about unity. Unity when it only benefit them. Go from there, sir.
And
I don't
every
like people
single
like that.
one of them is like that too. Because, you know me, I'm in the blog scene and I'm paying attention to like the movements. And it's like, when you look at it from a wider perspective, all of them is the same. You guys talk about how y'all want unity, but at the end of the day, it's only when it's beneficial to you guys y'all show love.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That is it.
Listen, one thing I wish with Jamaican artists, yes, they need to show more unity and more collaboration, work together more. Like I don't get it. Like it's like
Too much fight.
too much. I don't know, but it's a culture, you know. It's a culture as a youth to grow up in Jamaica, as a youth to come here, and even for me, like I tell you, I keep people who are around me, born and grow in Jamaica. I love my culture, but you see, a certain part of my culture,
You can't stand it.
and them talk and move a certain way. Me just never put them people in my circle, because there's a lot of ready envy, bad mind.
True.
You know that them are the thing that going on. In Jamaica, you never listen to the music. They have a ton of bad mind song. People are
True.
bad mind for what, Bridging? Like who are bad mind for?
And it's used very loosely because, you know, as I said, like, you know, I'm born here and stuff. So when I started my blog, like, I recognize how it's used very loosely, and how, like, they're very, some Jamaicans, not all, but some are just very much for themselves, and that's what like creates this division,
Yeah.
right?
Selfish.
Very selfish, and it's like, damn, like, all right, I know how to move now, and it's not like you're gonna project it towards other people, but it's just the reality of the culture, especially when you think about the surviving, because most Jamaicans operate from a survival mindset, not really like a thriving
we grew up in the
mindset.
ghetto, so
Right.
resources are low. So yeah, we have that mentality, but you know we have to understand that, you know, things can be shared, and if we continue doing that, you know, look upon the people them who survive, look upon the people them who have longevity.
They always operate from a thriving mindset because they know that, all right, even if I share with you, I'm not losing out on my own.
Exactly. Exactly. So, you know what I mean? I guess those are stuff like that, especially when it comes to the music,
Mm-hmm.
I wish the man them just think bigger and
True.
long term. That's all me asking for. Think bigger and long term. I mean,
And make it more fun.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Make it more fun. Like me, you know, me old school, I love stage show, I love the vibes there. It hurt my heart when I see man can perform, like, bro. You know what I mean? Anything that hurt me. That's why me when I come to spending my money, me I gonna show me have very selective people who I know.
Mm-hmm.
Me I go see. I mean, me I go pay if you go see. I go pay if you go see Spragga. I go pay if you see Assassin, Sizzler, Baby Sham, a Bounty. Like, me have my selective people. Even Vibes Cartel up. Vibes Cartel are my top 3 artists. Even him kind of shaky for me.
Right.
You see me I say? Because him disappoint me already in performance. So but me have my artists and me have certain artists when I go them show. Me left the feeling energetic, like feel like my money well spent.
And that's why, like, I could see why you probably see me as somebody who likes the old school, because I love to go to stage shows myself and I love to go to concerts. But when I go to concerts, I find myself more going towards the reggae concerts instead of the dancehall, because it's just like dancehall artists cannot perform and I don't want to waste my money. You know,
It makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get it. Cause, you know, at least reggae, them singing, they can sing along and enjoy. But like the dancehall, come on. No, I know what I mean. I know exactly what I mean. So I struggle with that too, you know. But I mean, let me say, hopefully them figure it out. Yeah. Like I said, we got through this weird transition phase. I hope them just find. Yeah, I'm just making the balance. But big up man like Massacre still, because Massacre to me, I keep it up. I love governor, the way I'm creative and doing things. So, them people, cause, me is a man, me is a lyrical, I like lyrical content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a like creativity.
Same.
And then people that kind of do it for me. When me do it on club and I enjoy myself, yeah, me deal with the
the raw and
look
raunchy.
ray and the look
Right, exactly.
we are drink, we don't really care, we have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when me down me yard or me I make a drive or me in my car,
You
me
don't
not
wanna
play the
hear it.
music.
Yeah.
Me can't play the music. I remember tell Sean say me do a playlist, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Apple Music into this playlist. I mean, I listen to the playlist, I tell the man sometimes I zone out on the playlist. I'm gonna come back to the playlist. I whenever the same song, I listen to everything sounds so for me. I'm like, hold on now.
What's new? What's different? What's going on
like
here?
I said, my kind of say, all of a sudden, my head, everything just sounds same. I want me to listen to Bridget. I said, that's how me can't do that. I say, yeah, so I say, me try. Me try and keep a open mind, but you know what I mean?
It's a working process.
Yeah, I can't. I love my old school rhythm, them the 90s, from mid-90s up to 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Like the early 2000s, that's my favorite. And you just leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lori, thanks for your time.
No problem.
I know we talk a little bit over. I'm going to try to go for the hour break, but we're
Oh.
getting a dancer.
Yeah, we got, when we come on dancehall, it's a forever talking topic.
Yeah,
So.
man, for sure. So everything going on with the blog, current things.
It's going on good, but the only issue I have with Instagram right now is just it's way too sensitive. Like, even others who don't post like traumatic things, they find themselves their posts getting reported or like copyright issues, which is why like if people see blogs start getting extremely boring in terms of creativity, that's why, because it's just way too sensitive on Instagram now.
So you see, I'm wondering, like, is just people reporting or they have the algorithm picking up all of that stuff?
I think it's just people. It's a mixture of people reporting, and it's also
like the algorithm will pick up like is people who work. I don't know, like
yeah,
it's
it's confusing because you have the algorithm, then you have the people reporting. Instagram right now is a mess. Every creator you hear is the same problem. It's just a continuous problem after problem.
I saw a couple of prominent page did get even deleted in the
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean way, and I think through copywriting. Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's like with me, like even like on the podcast page, like I'm not as active as I want to be. Because the thing is, I don't know. And then the thing is, because my cousin had a page called Best Jamaican Experience.
Right.
I had like 11,000, 12,000 followers, and me even having business with it. And the man said, "Them just delete him thing one day."
You see?
Like him just deleted and couldn't get it back. Him message Instagram, and him very careful of when him post. Like him not post no
Raunchy stuff.
No, him post like like Jamaican stuff, like cultural stuff. Got a beach and certain things. And the man I say, I don't even know what him, but that's and me even say this next one. I forgot the name of it. This next one I follow. Someone in the vibes. I forgot. They did get deleted and they just started a new page. And they had over like 30-something thousand. And it's like, I'm like, what? And the same thing. And I notice every time they post something, they will put like, no copyright intended at the bottom or something.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying. That's like when you get especially that big, it's like you have to really be careful.
And it's just annoying. Like, sometimes as a content creator, you want to make sure your page is lively and happy. And Instagram was once a platform that it promoted that, but then when you take a stock and a look at it, that's not the case anymore. It's just boring.
If I go to the Chinaman company,
TikTok. Yeah, TikTok,
but even them I get sensitive
Twitter.
over that because
True. Because I see people talking about how they're getting.
I see Niggas post some stuff. So them a fight him thing every time he make a joke about something.
See?
Yeah, so I don't know. You know what I mean?
Just crazy,
Hey,
man.
at least you're part of the young generation. You have a different viewpoint, so I have hope.
Yes.
I got hope. All right, Laura, big up yourself. You know what I mean?
All
Shout
right,
out your
Nick.
page before you go.
Of course, you guys, if you guys are new to the podcast, make sure you follow my blog, Current Tingz. Did I'm over here mistaking it. CurrentTinz. And just make sure you keep up to date on all social media platforms. Make sure that you're following. I'm always posting. There's not a day that I take a break. And that's where you could
Yeah,
get
I
your
always
Ray
ask you
Ray
how
and
you
this
do it.
is
I don't know how you do it, but big up yourself. Yeah, man. Respect for making the time. You know what
no
I mean? On a
problem.
Friday evening here.
Yes.
Much respect. You know what I mean? So, people, this is another episode of Jamaican State of Mind podcast. It was a great conversation with Lori here. You know what I mean, Carter, you missed that one, yeah?
Yes, Carter. You owe me a conversation.
Yeah, man, definitely. Remember to follow us on all our social media platform as well. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Just look up Jamaican State of Mind. You can go to JamaicanStateOfMind.com. You can find all of the links and all of that. See me? Until the next time, like I always say, stay blessed, be safe, and always be objective. Respect.
Yeah, Jamaican state of mind.